The South Dakota Army National Guard helps you get an education and prepares you for life. Joining the South Dakota Army National Guard gives you more than just pride that comes from serving your country. You can earn benefits that help pay for your education and expenses, and you can complete your education while you serve. The South Dakota Army National Guard offers many programs for every type of student.
World-class service with hometown friendliness. That's what you can expect from the staff of Haler Automotive. We sell new vehicles from both Chevrolet and Buick, along with a good selection of late-model pre-owned vehicles. And if you're looking for something a little more vintage, come take a look at our classic car showroom, Highway 12 Classics. We have a full service department, parts department, and a body shop. We're conveniently located East Highway 12 in Webster, or view all of our inventory online at HalerAuto.com.
Winning isn't everything. It's how you play the game that counts. If your values tell you the same, let's start a new conversation about money. At Thrivent Financial, we believe money is a tool, not a goal. Because it's not just about making more, it's about doing more. For your family, church, and community. Call Webster Thrivent Financial today at 605-345-3635.
Partnering with champions. RDO does that. Whether it's on the farm, the football field, or in the backyard, RDO prides itself on partnering with champions. For over 100 years, John Deere has been a champion of building the finest compact tractors available. Let RDO Equipment Company be your compact tractor sales and service champion. Plus, with 0% financing available, there's never been a better time to purchase your next compact tractor. Don't miss your chance to discover the RDO Equipment Company difference for yourself. Visit RDOequipment.com to find a dealer near you.
I'm Tegan Mason.
I'm Carson Hamill.
I'm Andrew Odden.
On behalf of Mason Ox Ranch.
From everyone here at Odden Charlet.
And on behalf of the Scattered Star Ranch.
From our family to yours.
From the Phillip community, I just want to say thank you.
We thank you.
Thank you.
I would like to thank you, the consumers.
We thank you for choosing beef.
Thank you for choosing beef.
Life's an adventure filled with excitement, challenges, and achievement. Farmers Union Insurance can provide you the safety net to keep you moving toward your goals and enjoying life's rewards. With multiple locations across the state, Farmers Union Insurance agents provide quick quotes and professional services you deserve. Since 1948, Farmers Union Insurance has focused on insuring the people of South Dakota. From the most remote quarter section to the busiest intersection, Farmers Union Insurance, insuring a brighter tomorrow.
At A&W, it's called the original Bacon Double Cheeseburger because we invented it. You're welcome, world. 100% U.S. beef, crispy hickory smoked bacon, invented and perfected here. Not to mention, it's just better with made fresh A&W root beer. At participating restaurants, prices may vary. Tax extra.
The Galley Hotel Bar and Grill is on Highway 12 in Webster. Comfortable non-smoking rooms and their steakhouse and bar are open 7 days a week with the grill opening daily at 5 p.m. Daily specials and popular Wings Wednesdays with over 14 sauces with traditional bone-in or boneless wings. Thursdays feature Chislick special night and their slow-cooked prime rib is served on Friday and Saturday nights. Check them out on Facebook or call 605-345-9989 for reservations.
The South Dakota Army National Guard helps you get an education and prepares you for life. Joining the South Dakota Army National Guard gives you more than just pride that comes from serving your country. You can earn benefits that help pay for your education and expenses, and you can complete your education while you serve. The South Dakota Army National Guard offers many programs for every type of student, whether you're still in high school, attending college, or working toward a vocational certification. For more information, visit our Facebook and Instagram pages or at nationalguard.com/SD.
World-class service with hometown friendliness. That's what you can expect from the staff of Haler Automotive. We sell new vehicles from both Chevrolet and Buick, along with a good selection of late-model pre-owned vehicles. And if you're looking for something a little more vintage, come take a look at our classic car showroom, Highway 12 Classics. We have a full service department, parts department, and a body shop. We're conveniently located East Highway 12 in Webster, or view all of our inventory online at HalerAuto.com.
Winning isn't everything. It's how you play the game that counts. If your values tell you the same, let's start a new conversation about money. At Thrivent Financial, we believe money is a tool, not a goal. Because it's not just about making more, it's about doing more. For your family, church, and community. Call Webster Thrivent Financial today at 605-345-3635.
Call the meeting to order. Stand and say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, good evening. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Motion to approve the agenda as presented. We have no changes.
So moved.
Thank you, Joel. Second? Second. Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Public communications. We have 3 individuals here tonight, and since Mark Hansen, you get to have like an advantage since you were president of the school board for at least a couple of years. We'll let you take the floor first for public communications.
Thank you very much. I'm here on behalf of the Tabor Church, of which I am a council member, and we have decided to start an after-school program starting in the fall of 2021. And we're going to run this program exactly in concurrence with the school calendar. It will run every day that you have school. If there's, and we're going to run this program, and it's going to be totally nonprofit. It's going to be based on donations only, and we're going to have a suggested fee per student, but we are not going to bill students. So a couple of things, and a couple of the reasons I'm here is we're not looking for any financial support from the school district, but one thing we would like is advertisement, or to let it be known that this program is available to students that attend school. And another thing we would like is busing. If you would run a bus, or a bus would drop students off. This is going to be run at we have the Shopko building. It's going to be in the Shopko building. So that's one of the glitches we have, is getting students from this building to that building. So we would entertain a favor of a bus stopping there. And the third thing we would like is that the school nurse would be we're going to hire a director to run this program, that the school nurse be in contact with the director for students who have special needs, allergies, or if they're sick, any of the above, so they know what they're dealing with. And basically, that's all I have. Are there any questions?
You gonna have food?
What?
Food? Snacks?
Well, that'll be...
Well, kids are gonna eat.
Well, that's gonna be up to the director. I'm sure they will.
Oh, sure.
Yes. I mean, yeah, there'll be snacks. Funny, you're the second guy that asked that. First question.
Well, Subway's donating, aren't they?
Yeah.
I heard that on
That is nicely paid. Craig Case with the mic drop there.
We got an after-school program.
Wow. Nice case. Nice.
But
Well, I think it's a good thing. I think it's needed in our community. I mean,
yeah, we think it'd be good for the community, for business, and for the school system. So,
How late hours?
how late? Like, it's basically going to run from 3 till 6, 6:30, or whenever school gets out. It's an after-school program, so it's not a daycare. So we're going to see how late. 6:30 is what we've been checking out. Other programs run basically till 6 o'clock. So.
and we really wouldn't know anything on the busing until you had some sort of enrollment numbers, which probably won't happen until fall, more than likely, or?
We've been asked, we don't know, we don't know how big the need is. We have no idea what the enrollment will be until we get into it. And we're hoping that we can find out when kids enroll in school how many there's gonna be, or
The advertising promotion, we could easily do that within our school system. The only thing I would say with that, because it's not our program, we would have to have some sort of a disclaimer stating that although we're providing this information is separate from the school system, transferring students. I mean, the ideal thing would be as if, I don't know if that east bus route goes out of town right away that way, or if it goes somewhere, but it'd be nice if we just make an agreement with Cheyenne Transportation to see if that works. So
I would tell you this, Mark, that first on behalf of the board and the school district, and I know the community, the advertising is a good thing. Bearcat TV, Mr. Wiley and Mr. Shoemaker over there, it's amazing the number of people that actually watch this school board meeting. And so I think the word will definitely be getting out there, besides with John putting it in the newspaper, does a great job with our minutes. So I think the advertising is going to get started. On behalf of the board, thank you. I think, like Joel said, it's a big deal and it's a need within the community. And for your church to take that and tackle it by the horns, I think that's to be commended. And please make sure you pass on to the church our appreciation for them doing that. You know, as to a busing issue, you may know somebody that used to be on the busing committee when they served on the school board. I think our current busing committee is Joel and Marty. And there's got to be a way to figure out that riddle. I mean, the fact that you have the location and you have somebody there to put together the program, figure out snacks and free subs from Craig Case's donation from Subway, you've done a lot of the legwork. We'll do whatever we can to help you out with that bus.
I kind of figured that that's the only glitch we don't have figured out. That is a bit of a challenge, but I don't see it as a big challenge. If the program is that needed, I figured we'd get that figured out. But,
Good for you guys. It'll be interesting to see the numbers that you have sign up.
yeah, well, and as far as the advertising, basically what we wanted to know is to let parents know it's available. Like, new people coming into the district, or small kids. I'm sure most of them will know.
if it's a reasonable, affordable cost, you guys are going to have plenty of kids.
And maybe something to think about too, Mark, is when we have our back to school, hopefully we get to have our back to school picnic, maybe you send up some representatives and participate during the back to school picnic.
We do not have a director hired yet, but we will be hiring it'll be a part-time director, but there will be a director running the program. So once we do that, and we'll probably do that in the near future, I think, and then that person will run the program and be in contact with whoever.
No better time than that back to school picnic. I think it should be on your guys' calendar to be here and be part of it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Tom. You could even have a sign up if you're all ready for that then, or parents could come in and sign up.
Okay, I want to know before then.
Yeah, I think by the end of the school year, we need to have it out there so that parents can plan through the summer
Yeah,
too.
that's why we wanted to do it now. I wanted to let you know now that we're planning on doing this, so parents know that it'll be available next fall. So.
Anything else for Mr. Hanson?
Thank you for your time.
Hey, thanks, Mark.
Have a good night.
See ya.
See ya.
Thanks. See you, Mark.
All right, next, I asked Isaac Gertis to stop in tonight and to give us an update on the COVID. So there's been a lot of questions as to when we could get our staff vaccinated. I have had conversations with Mr. Gertis, over the last month. He's been really good at getting back and responses to me and trying to get our staff in as soon as possible. And so I thought, rather than me trying to articulate everything, just get it straight from the horse's mouth. So Isaac, if you could take the floor and tell us where we're at.
Perfect. So we have continued to vaccinate. Right now we've given just over 1,400 shots here in the community. So we've been actively vaccinating. We've made our way through essential workers, long-term care residents. Started with our 80 plus population, went 75, 70, 65. The state now has opened us up to vaccinate teachers as of this week. So we do have all of our teachers scheduled this Friday to be able to receive the COVID vaccine. So I'm really excited that they've continued to progress and we've continued to be able to get vaccine. We've been taking our max allocation every week and have been getting those into arms. And so I'm really positive overall, but really excited to be able to get the teachers done this week.
Which vaccines do you have, or which ones are you offering?
Yep, so mainly we've left a lot of the Pfizer just with some of the complications of moving that vaccine, just with the colder storage temps. A lot of that has stayed in Sioux Falls and some of the more metro markets. So we've mainly been getting the Moderna vaccine, which has a four-week lag time between the first dose and the second dose. So the Moderna one is the main one. That's all we've given up to this point. We will receive our first allocation of Johnson & Johnson this week as well.
You'll have them this week?
Yep.
So is that a choice for the staff, or is it
No,
your choice?
they're generally not a choice at this point. Just with the allocation that's given, we submit micro plans on that every week on who those go to. So it will be more than likely the Moderna one that comes through with that.
Thanks.
So Jim, are we in charge of letting staff know and making appointments, or are they just doing it on their own? Okay.
That's all done. I sent a spreadsheet to Evelyn Christensen on Friday, actually last Wednesday, and then they tweaked it a little bit because my original schedule went from 1:30 this coming Friday until 5:40, but then they doubled up some of their nurses, so they're able to get done, I think, around 3:30. So they're going to get it done in about 2 hours worth of time, 2.5 hours worth of time. And so everybody in our system had the opportunity to do it. Originally, we had 120 on our list when you do bus drivers and everybody, and that dwindled down to about, I want to say about 48, 49. Most of the folks that were going to get it on our list already previously got it due to their age or whatever. There's just there's quite a few that I took off the list because of that. So I can just tell you our dates are this Friday in the afternoon, starting at like 1:30, 1:40. And then the next date for the second shot, because we're getting the Moderna shot, and we've notified them that that's what we're giving. It's 28 days in between. The next shot is April 9th, which is, and it needs to be in the morning, that particular morning. So we're going to do a 1 hour late start unless we decide something differently as a board. But that's what my plan is right now. There's a potential that the second shot, we could give it, starting at 7:30 in the morning, be done by 9:15, and then by noon, I might have 10 teachers say, I don't know.
What day of the week is April 9th, Jim?
April 9th is a Friday.
Good.
Well, how about, I don't have a problem amending the calendar right here. We've been extremely lucky with COVID this year and not having to take days off. But if the staff is getting their second shot that day, and it's kind of
it's the same week as our Easter Monday.
That's
so
fine.
We have Easter Monday off, and then Friday is when they get their second shot.
I think we could do right now just to knock it out, and then every kid in Webster High School think that Jim Block's a rock star. But
I'm good with that.
I think that we should just go ahead right now and just not have school. I'd propose Friday, April 9th. That way all of our staff members can get in there, get the shot. They don't have to worry about having any adverse effects from that second shot.
Well, my concern would be not Friday, but Monday.
3 days later?
What has been the feedback on that shot, Isaac? Anything? Or
Typically the day of or the day after is what I have been.
Day of, day after is generally what we're seeing. We're seeing a very, very low overall rate of a lot of side effects. But yeah, it's generally day of, day after if you're not feeling great for a short period of time. Generally is not lasting more than that.
Well, I'll say it as a caregiver. I got my first dose, and it took my legs right out from underneath them. It was. But I've had COVID. They say that maybe plays into it.
I don't want to hear that.
It wasn't fun.
Well, what do you think, gentlemen? Do we just want to say right now, Friday, April 9th, let's just have that as a staff. That way we don't have any issues. I mean, we're good on getting our days in. We haven't had blizzards this year. We still got 2 months.
We'll get it done.
But I'd throw that out there. Let's just knock it out right now, gentlemen. We can amend the agenda and just
leave
do
it to Jim's discretion.
I won't know until
Yeah.
we get
I
into
just say
it.
take
That's what I mean, it's,
So-
I don't know, I almost think we should wait and see how the first round goes.
That's fine.
see how many.
All you kids out there watching, remember who the nice guy is on the school board.
Yeah,
Hey,
our
I'm just
April
one
meeting
vote.
would be
You don't
April
need vote
12th,
stop.
so we would not be able to discuss it as a board prior to the next meeting.
Yeah, this is our last time we're here.
I'm good.
Unless you want me to make the decision based on what kind of reaction we have this coming Friday, but then we won't know that either, other than reports from
Right.
teachers.
And then you have
They
the people
won't be
saying it's the
here.
second one. The people in my office, the guy, they thought the second shot was the one that affected them more.
That has been the general guidance, is the second one is usually a little bit rougher on people, just because there are some antibody buildup at that point that you're getting a reaction to the second one.
What do you think, Aaron?
I think that's a good idea. Take that Friday off, because how do you know?
We did go to school in October when we were supposed to have that in-service and it was canceled. So that day is, and we have enough hours in the calendar, that's not a concern, even if we didn't go to school in October, if you're curious about that. But I will know, I will tell you that staff's gonna be concerned, is this they will not be concerned, but they'll wanna know, is this a makeup day that we put to the end of the year? What about our hourly staff? Because when we call off school for snow days and things like that, if we don't make them up, the hourly staff don't make those hours. So there's some things that go along with that, so.
I would throw out there that it's not a makeup day and that we could pay our staff for that day. It's COVID, it's on once. We're hoping that we've had some of the COVID funds that we can use to help pay for staff for that day, encourage them to get vaccinated, and I just think it would be a good policy and people can plan for it then. Right now we're at 2-2.
I know, we need Marty.
Wow. You're talking 40% of the staff.
Pardon?
You're talking 40% of the staff is probably gonna get a shot.
If you wanna go to staff numbers,
Well, you say 120.
we have about 75 that we employ. And so that 110, where did that come from? Volunteer coaches, bus drivers, substitutes, anybody that's been associated with our school system. And so that's where that other number comes in. So we're going to vaccinate I just under 50 out of 75. And some of those are substitutes. And there's only like one or two of the bus drivers, because most of the bus drivers are older, so they've already had the opportunity to be. No offense to you, Mike.
Yeah.
I'm just.
He's one of the young ones.
Yeah.
And COVID pay, and then,
So,
is there a glitch in there? I don't know.
I think we're sitting strong financially. We could do that. No question, pay them for that day. We'd be paying them for that day anyway because they're here.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned summer.
We wouldn't have
COVID,
to make it
summer
up.
not.
My concern just lies in, from personal experience, it's not the day of, it's the days after when you get sick, and so I support
first,
it, but I think I would vote to leave it up to Jim.
and it was you've had one shot?
Yeah. One.
Larry, where do you fall?
I'd like to leave it up to Jim.
Okay, so we'll just, Jim, right now, it's up to you, I think.
Okay.
Anything else for Isaac? Sounds good. Thanks, Mr. Gertis. All right, next we've got Kelvin Meyer with trap shooting.
All right. Thanks for letting me come again and talk to you about trap shooting. I recognize most of you. I'm not in tune with
Aaron.
Aaron. Nice to meet you. Last year, the school board came to the school board and asked them for approval of the Webster High School trap shooting, and we were given a 1-year trial period. The league still happened, but we didn't go as a school, I guess. We let kids sign up. We had 16 that were interested and actually 8 that signed up, and we got them a t-shirt and 4 articles of Pool USA. So we never really got to shoot. So I'm coming back this year to hopefully get approved for another 1-year trial period, if you will.
Same terms and conditions then, nothing changed from last year?
It will be, the way that the league is run, it's run with COVID in mind, so it's less, they're doing less days, it'll be a shortened season, and the state tournament can be done virtually this time. So we'd still shoot at the Clayburg Club here in town, with the option if somebody wanted to go to Aberdeen and shoot at the state tournament.
Liability insurance, all good, just like we had last year also?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Questions, gentlemen?
No, I'm good with it. You know, everything's the same and just take the proper precautions with COVID and.
Everything's good with the club?
Yes, I did go and talk to the club. Now all that's good to go. It'll be Tuesday nights, 5 to 7.
When do you plan on starting up, Calvin? Do you know of a start date?
It'd be March or April 6th. First day. If we don't have snow.
Okay, Aaron?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, I think we're good to go.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming, Kelvin. All right, we'll keep moving on. Motion to approve the minutes of our February 10th meeting.
So moved.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Motion to approve the financial statements.
So move.
Thank you, Larry. Second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Motion to approve the claims.
So moved.
Thank you, Joel. Second?
Second.
Discussion?
There's one, what is Swish Shoot or whatever it is?
I wondered that too.
Is that under the capital outlay? Dr.
No.
Dish Shooter?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is a shooting machine that someone applied to get the Hansi grant from, and it was approved, so that's what it is. So it's Hansi grant money and it's a shooting machine.
Shooting,
Basketball.
okay. I assumed that, I just
Isn't
kind
it
of,
similar to the one we have that has a net and returns the ball?
Much more advanced,
Much
as I
nicer.
understand it.
It's nice.
Yeah.
And from what I heard from Mr. Ninke, it showed up today, so he was taking it out of the box today, so.
I saw it outside the armory.
you try it?
Nope. Because I can't figure out how to run it. I know they can, I understand that the kids can use their phones and hook up, Bluetooth it in, and get their own personalized workouts. The coaches can put in workouts that they want the kids to do, and it's
Okay.
quite advanced, like Mike said, much more than what our last shooting machine was. But I wish I would have invented Dr. Dish Shooter. What a name.
Yeah.
All right, any other questions on the claims? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, moving on to action items. Motion to approve a contract with Brittany Lindy for food service.
So moved.
Thank you, Joel. Second.
Second.
Thank you, Aaron. Discussion?
She working,
What?
is she here now?
No, we're waiting for a criminal background check. The criminal background checks, for some reason, are now taking like 3 weeks.
Oh.
due to
Really?
COVID. I don't know why, but it's the way it is.
3 weeks or longer.
Wow.
And usually it was,
Within a week.
I was gonna
Right.
say within a week, maybe 6 or 7, 8 days of business days.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Motion to approve supplemental budget 6-03-21.
So moved.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Larry. Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Motion to accept the resignation of Rebecca Burns as custodian.
So moved.
Thank you, Larry. Second, Mr. Gaikowski. Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Motion to approve the policy of alternative instruction, public school exemption.
So moved.
Thank you, Joel. Second.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Motion to accept the Webster Area Education Association letter of intent to negotiate.
So moved.
Thank you, Larry. Second.
Second.
Thank you, Aaron. Discussion?
You know, we voted to table this at the last meeting in an effort to try to see if there was anything we could do to improve the communication. I don't know that anything has or hasn't been done to do that. And I don't know that we will know until we go into negotiations. I did notice that the letter they've submitted is just the same letter as last time, which would lead me to believe that nothing has changed. Therefore, I won't support it. That's my opinion.
Okay.
I just took a copy of last month's letter because I did not receive anything new. So just, I mean, I don't want.
Oh, okay.
So that was me that made a copy of that letter from last month. Because I have.
So nothing else was submitted to you?
No, not to me.
Okay.
Well, you know, one of the things I think is that communication is key.
Absolutely.
There's no question. And last year, before we had COVID hit, we were set to have a, I know, Lori, you're thrilled about it. We're going to bring it back. We were set to have a meeting with the staff with just 2 members to bring everybody up to speed on and answer the questions about, you know, general fund, capital outlay, special education, the budgeting process, those type of things, in order to get more information out there. I thought that was a good idea. I think Marty is the one that came up with that idea last year, and we were set to go on that, and then COVID shut us down. I mean, I think we even had the date set. It was right the week before, probably. I would propose we do that again. You know,
Yep.
Give staff the chance. Anybody that wants to be there, they can be there. We'll have, I'll be more than happy with another member to have 2 of us there and Lori, and we can sit down and get that knocked out and have conversations with them so they can ask us questions and, you know, have a nice give and take as to how school funding works. I think that, you know, overall this year, really happy with the way things have gone in the school district. You know, you look on TV and you see what's happening in other states, and you know, the fact we've been able to make it through and really avoid a lot of pitfalls. I think the staff and the administration, all of those 110 people that you mentioned earlier that are going to get the COVID vaccine, have stepped up and done a nice job to keep this place running. So I'm hoping that we can get some communication to keep on working here, and I think that might be the first step. But either way, we will have to negotiate at some point in time. I think the last day of the session is when?
The 11th, and then they go back on the 29th, I believe.
Okay. So we wouldn't want to have negotiations anyway until?
First week of somewhere early April.
Early April?
I think April 6th is what.
I think that's the date of the letter.
April 6th is what the letter was.
Okay, after April 6th?
On or after April 6th, their letter said.
On or after, yep.
Okay. I'm okay with going forward, and we've just got to knock it out.
You would open up to all staff.
Well, no. Well, whoever the WAEA is who shows up for the negotiations, that's their thing.
That, but I mean for the other.
Yes, absolutely.
There's no conflict here.
Nope.
Informing.
Nope,
Okay.
there's not.
That's just budget explanation,
Yep.
isn't it?
Yep, I'm just.
Pieces and parts of the budget.
Yeah, we were gonna do it last year.
Yep.
And I agree with everything you said, Tom. I mean, our staff is knocking it out of the park. I just want the communication to be better between their negotiators and the staff. That's all I'm after here.
Do you want to do this prior to negotiations?
Yeah, I think it's good to do.
Yep.
Yep. Because I still remember one year after negotiations, a staff member coming up and saying, I completely did not understand the numbers. And at least having, the courtesy or the respect, I mean, that individual came up and said, look, the numbers, I just did not understand them. And that meant a lot. So I think if we can get more of an education out there, that would definitely help. So I would talk with Marty again. Marty was the one that came up on it. I think Marty and I were originally going to do it. If he can't do it, then I'll talk to Lori and get another board member, but we can get that knocked out some other time. So, Joel, we know where you stand. I'll just call the vote then.
The vote is?
To accept the WAEA letter of intent to negotiate. Too many vowels for me there. We've had the motion and the second. Joel?
No.
Okay. Larry?
Yes, we're going to enter into negotiations.
Okay. Aaron?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes. Okay. Motion carries. Motion to approve the audit report.
So moved.
Thank you, Joel. Second?
Second.
Discussion. I brought this audit report again because, first of all, nice job, Lori. I probably didn't understand as a kid growing up about how hard of a job a business manager of a school district would be. I clearly did not. And I probably did not understand how hard of a job a business manager of a school district would be before I got on the school board.
Mm-hmm.
And every year that I have a chance to read this and I look at the amount of funds that go through this school between the general fund, the capital outlay, the special education fund, and the checks we write from literally reimbursing somebody's lunch money for $17.20 and making sure that we account for that 100% right, up to Dr. Dish shooters and busing contracts and everything else in between. This is a phenomenal report, and the school's in excellent shape. I think that in the future, any new board members you ever get on here, when they're trying to figure out school funding, this is a spot to start, because it really lays it out when you can compare it from years past and the year before, and we are definitely in a stronger financial position than we were the year before based upon that audit. So thank you. This is really good.
With COVID, did they come and go over it with you or not? No. That's always a good one to sit in on too, to understand, having the auditors go through it.
And they were tough on you. The one issue was publication of minutes, correct? One time in the Reporter and Farmer, they didn't see it, or is that what it was? That John Sir guy, we'll raise a complaint there.
It was corrected though.
It was there, but they got into the weeds, and that's what you want your auditors to do. They were in the weeds, so we got what we paid for. Any other discussion on the audit? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, superintendent report, Dr. Block.
I just have a couple of items. The first one is just the vaccination information. Again, we're on Friday, this coming Friday, and then we'll have April 9th, and now it'll be left up to me to determine whether or not we have school that day or we do 1 hour late. We also have in-services coming Friday, and it's all via Zoom. We actually have 3 different sessions for different age groups, or different grade levels for the staff on the EL training. And then for the afternoon, it's a matter of people getting to their appointments. So we've taken care of that. The Smarter Balanced Assessment, the science is going to be included. Initially, we didn't think that it would be, and we thought that because the state had requested a waiver at the federal level not to have to give science, but I think what they're doing at that level is saying, go forward with the tests. We're all gonna start a new baseline with what we do after COVID anyway. So we have a few changes to put into our initial testing schedule because we did not put that in the original plan. So, and that just came out this last week. And we were already planning ahead with our testing, so some minor changes there to make sure that the testing occurs for the science subject. I received an email today from Brett Gibbs up at Langford. He's their athletic director. It's a follow-up email regarding the co-op with football. They have sent this to us, to Britain and to Groton. They would like members of their committee to meet with members of our school system. Could be members from the board and or the AD and the superintendent, just to discuss what possibilities, options exist from each of the 3 schools. And so I would invite any of you to participate in that if you'd like to. We could only have as many as 2, otherwise it's a quorum and you can't meet as a group like that. But if any of you guys are interested in sitting in on that, Mr. Mines and I will schedule a meeting with them. They've given us several dates to look at. It will be in the evening if you're interested. I have the information from Mr. Mines that he and I discussed, and I also have the email that I sent to Langford, kind of with our preliminary responses to their questions regarding would there be games there, games here, new uniforms, all those things. So I have that information for what we initially responded. So if you have any takers, let me know. Just talk to me after the meeting and we can go from there. I had 2 items under my superintendent's report in my notes. Those are technically supposed to be higher. If you did up above, I didn't recognize it until I was actually typing this up while I was at a meeting. The legislative review is the next thing that I have. Senate Bill 177 did pass. Our legislators, I had contacted all of our legislators and asked that they not support it. The reason that I, as a public school superintendent, was not in favor of it is there's very little accountability for homeschool students. It doesn't exist much already, and this takes away any more of that. And so it's not a criticism I have for what I would consider legitimate homeschool families, because there are some families out there doing a fantastic job of teaching their own children. But those aren't the people that I'm worried about as a public school superintendent. I'm worried about the people that are using the freedom and the lack of accountability in public school or public school exemption to basically just drop out of school. Now, what this law will do is allow those students that I'm concerned about to participate in our sports, our band, our choir, and we really have no accountability over it. And so that's the bad part about this. It's good for those who are legitimate homeschool families because their children can now participate in school functions without us saying they can't as a school district. If you recall, we actually put our policy into place about 2, maybe 3 years ago. The practice prior to that was that we wouldn't let anybody participate. That's just what our practice was, but there was nothing in policy. And it was 2 or 3 years ago, we put a policy in place that said that if you want to participate in our athletics, that you would need to enroll in at least half of a school day. So at the high school level, be 2 blocks out of 4. And if you wanted to participate in our band and choir, the expectation would be that you're in band and choir for that class period, because it only makes sense. that will have to change. We will have to amend our policy because this new law will go into effect July 1.
So you're telling me I don't want to go to school and I want to just hang out at home, but I want to be on the basketball team.
This law allows that now, yes.
And they don't have to spend 1 minute in the school?
Nope. Homeschool students will be able to participate in school activities if they so choose.
So,
now our legislators, if you want to know, Rawl voted for it, St. John voted for it, and Kynes voted against it.
So our kids who have to make the grades, where they sit, correct? And we've had kids sit in the past. So right now, if you don't make the grades, just go ahead and don't.
Well, the
go to school.
homeschool students are supposed to have something in place that verifies that they are indeed doing some work and that indeed they are eligible. Now, how that comes to play is really, as far as I know, it's up to them, the parents.
You can't ask for a grade or.
Because we've seen it kids that didn't want to be in school, they drop out.
Can you
I
ask?
mean, we're judged by how many kids, we're judged about what our graduation rate is, correct?
That's the frustration for me as a public school superintendent is the accountability that we are held to, it doesn't exist for homeschool. And I understand that with the quality homeschoolers. I don't want to get criticized for running that in the ground because there are some people that do a fantastic job. It's the dysfunctional families, and I would call it dysfunctional. I don't know if that offends people or not. That's just what reality is.
Yep.
There are dysfunctional families out there in which their kids, they have poor attendance, they have whatever going on. Things just aren't good for them in school, and now they have the opportunity to just say, you know what, I'm going to drop out, and if I want to play in sports, I can. And so it was not popular for the public schools.
It's really disheartening that our legislators would vote for something like that.
But I will tell you, the reason that they will vote for that is because the emotion, the passion, the folks that are fighting for this are your legitimate, I'm on their behalf, I'm saying the legitimate homeschool families that there's a couple of different scenarios. There are some parents of kids who their kids just absolutely do not function in a public school, and it's an awful experience for them in public school, so they have them at home. Then there's others that they have values different than what a public school is going to you would get for an experience, and so they're out there speaking on behalf. And when you have personal stories to share that are emotional and there's some passionate things that are said, it's difficult for our legislators to go against that.
What about I'm thinking, did anything are they disciplined or can you do any action with that, or if there's any?
Well, discipline wouldn't come into play other than associated with our training rules and our expectations as a team member. And so there wouldn't be anything associated with the school regarding discipline. I mean, if the kids don't behave for their kids, that's their issue.
But I mean, here with discipline, if there's a rule they violate in school, they can be disciplined and put on not allowed to play.
Oh, you're talking like training rules? Like if somebody, homeschool or not, I believe we can still enforce our athletic training rules. If somebody gets a minor in consumption, whether they're our student or they're a homeschool student, they violated our policy, and then whatever consequences.
So that portion of our policy would apply.
So yeah, I'm not fearful of that because the trick would be the notification, which that's already somewhat of an issue for us, even with students that we have.
Right. No, and my concern is not the families that do a great job with homeschooling. It's what I see in the last 20 years of practice of law. I mean, it's truancy cases. You don't even have a truancy case anymore. Just say, hey, I'm homeschooling it. A lot of parents, they can't get their kids to go to school when they have the truancy, and they don't want to be there. But they still, a lot of times the kids will want to play the sports, and that was a way you could force them to come to school.
Mr.
And-
Case and I have that frustration as truancy officers for the school district, as well as our state's attorney. We turn things over to him, he follows up, we see the letters, we see what happens, and if it gets too pushy, well, I'll just homeschool my kids. And that
Yep.
does happen. It's happened this school year more
It
than
does.
once. So when we do what we're supposed to according to the law, there are some families that unfortunately they just take the easy road out and say, I'm just gonna homeschool my kids, and it's those, I call them dysfunctional families, those dysfunctional families that it just highlights that dysfunction and kind of amplifies it, and it really is not good for society in the long run. It just, I'm not to say that to offend anybody, it's just reality in my opinion. And COVID has unfortunately, it's highlighted the dysfunction that we already knew existed, and it's amplified it with the freedoms that some parents and their children have with saying, well, fine, I'll just stay home. And in some cases, they really don't have a genuine concern about COVID. So.
Anything else, Jim?
That's it for legislation. 2.4% is what we're still looking at for a potential raise in educational funding. There is, I think, a little bit of a fight out there to maybe see it even higher because of some of the funding that states can receive. So we'll see what happens there.
And I think just, you mentioned the 2.4, I did mention to Lori today, as we're looking at our natural gas rates for next year. 2.4% increase from the state of South Dakota is awfully nice, and Northwestern Energy is looking at a 20% increase in natural gas prices for next year, so that'll work out well for budgeting purposes. All right.
Did we secure?
What?
Yes.
Principal report, Mr. Case.
I just remembered, or Dr. Block reminded me, I was supposed to look at elementary concerts. We talked about that at the last meeting. I totally slipped, forgot to look into that. So my job will be to look into that again and come back in April, let you know what our plan is for the elementary spring concerts coming up. Did any of you want to give any input on that, or have you heard any feedback from anybody, or as we move forward here? And as you can recall, back in the fall, we just did the Zoom. We just recorded it and then got it out that way.
I think the way the discretion we've given administration to take it and run, I don't think that's changed, Greg.
So I will look into that and report back in April. Otherwise, Dr. Block did a good job and covered most of what's happening in school, unless you have any questions coming up.
Should be good. Thank you, Mr. Case. NESC.
I've been to a couple of meetings recently. One of the things that they did with, if you saw in any of the notes, they hired an additional school site. And that's kind of what they're doing with that is trying to use it for purchase services. We needed an additional school site to kind of fill up our need for testing, and it wasn't a full time, but they were able to. They actually had somebody approach the co-op and said, "I'm willing to work." They offered her a salary that they thought she probably wouldn't take. She said yes, and so they took upon themselves to do that, and then they're going to use that as an opportunity for school systems within our school to pay for some of the additional services above and beyond if they can, or look at other districts. The child count, it's similar to what we do with behavioral stuff. We purchase so many days, like we purchase 6 days of behavioral management services. Those are purchase services that we're purchasing as a co-op, and then each school district can kind of use it how they need it for the number of days they want. Back to the child count, NESC child count overall is up again. We are actually up 83 students co-op wide. There are a few schools that actually declined, but overall, we just continue to see an increase in the number of IEP students within the co-op. And we cover everywhere from Britain all the way down to Elkton. And it goes from Clark to Waverly South Shore, going east and west. So it's a good sized district or co-op.
So will they be able to absorb that number, or are they gonna be looking for more help?
That was a question that was asked at the last board meeting, and yes, it's dispersed enough within the system that it's not, there's no concerns of not having service providers in any particular service area or even any particular geographic area, so it's a good question. And then they just, bylaw 3.4, one of, I think, Jerry's strengths is keeping track of updating their policy, and he just had a couple of things that needed to be changed there. It was mainly due to new members to the NESC. I'm not gonna remember, is it Coleman Egan? I don't know if anybody, there's a new district that's come into the co-op that's kind of north of that Madison area. I'm not sure which district it is, but there's just a few things that the wording didn't quite make sense with how we've been practicing things with new districts coming in, because it's not a common thing. But that's what I have for the co-op.
Is the new director at the meetings yet or not?
No, she's still serving as a superintendent in the Armour, Chip Delmont school districts. So I'm guessing she will start, her contract doesn't technically start until July 1, but I'm guessing she'll be there in June.
Sure.
That's it for NESC.
Okay. Buildings and grounds.
Last month, we talked about the high school boiler. Well, we talk about the boiler every month, seems like, for quite some time, but...
Don't break the streak.
I did get some verification from Travis Sickmiller. We actually do heat the water in that huge boiler. I have no idea how many gallons it is. We heat it to the point of steam so that it can be utilized in the CTE wing, the old vocational wing. And then we have what's called two exchange units that actually change that steam back to water. One of the exchange units is so that it goes back to hot water for the middle school, and the other one is so that it goes back to hot water for the high school. So I'm not a mechanical engineer, but I'm guessing it's really not that efficient of a system. when you heat the size of that boiler to steam, and then you got to bring it back down for really 3/4 of your building, you've got to bring it back down. So, what did he call it? Old?
You were trying to think.
Not Old Faithful. He had a name for our boiler. He says, you generate steam with the Lone Ranger with a smiley face. That goes to the equipment in your vocational wing, which includes the wrestling room air handler and in the stage area, as well as two steam to hot water exchangers, one for the high school, one for the middle school. And one of the exchangers was installed in '89 when the middle school was built, and the other exchanger was installed when we built the high school. So it's what I thought it was, but I just wanted to get verification. So
one of the
Geez, so the old ones, the class of '89, they're ancient.
They're ancient. That'd be me. 32 years old, man. It's you and me and your brother. That is old. And your sister.
So that's. I mean, the boiler discussion is going to continue until we make some sort of a decision. Sooner than later, later than sooner. And then as for the capital outlay overall, we'll start to put together a list of doors that need replacing, things that need to be repaired, things that need to be updated or upgraded. Obviously, we look at things that are necessities, things that are for safety, and then things that just generally need to be upgraded as well. We try to prioritize that. But I don't have a list to start with. I mean, I've got a list, but I don't have it with you to discuss right now.
Okay. Anything else on buildings and grounds and the Lone Ranger? All right. Insurance proposals. That is, Lori, please correct me. Last year we had a different insurance company wish to bid our insurance package. And I believe that was with the South Dakota pool, correct, through Larry Baumgarn, was the initial ones that spoke in regards to it. We did not have a chance, enough time just to put everything out there, and so that we said this year we would put it on our agenda to give the public notice that if they wish to bid on our insurance package, they can contact Lori, and Lori will have a, correct me if I'm wrong on this, a packet of information that is the same for everybody, so that we're bidding apples to apples. Is that a fair statement?
Yes.
Okay. That comes up, I think that's due, is that our July meeting is when we hit that, Lori?
Yeah, that's when our renewal is July 1st of every year.
Okay. And I believe they came like our June meeting is when they had came last year. We didn't have much time there to hit it. Any questions in regards to the insurance packets? But this way at least it's out there. General public will have notice if they want to stop by, they can pick it up. Okay. No election notice, Lori?
Yes, petitions were due last Friday, I believe, and we have 2 positions open, Tom Sanis and Joel Shoemaker. They each returned their position. We had no other petitions turned in, and so there will be no election this year.
Okay. Executive session for personnel, motion to move into executive session. Oh, yeah, that's quick. Second? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.